Cindy Williams, More Artist here, and I want to talk with you about paint brushes. What you use when you paint with watercolors is important, and good quality brushes does help. I have a variety of brushes that I use. The first ones that I have that I'm going to talk with you about are these. These are the silver brush velvet brushes. I buy a lot of my supplies at Cheap Joe's, and I will put that in my comment section so that way you can see, or the description for this video, so you can see where to buy them at. These are called flat washes. See how nice and flat they are. These are great for laying down water when I'm going to get a piece of paper wet. They do a great job, but I like these brushes because they hold a lot of water, and this really is a good solid brush to use. So I have a 3/4 inch flat and a 1 inch flat. Those are two of the brushes. Let me put those aside. So the next set that I have, these are still the silver black velvet brushes, and you can see this is a size 20. This is a wonderful, sometimes I think they're called mop brushes. It holds a lot of paint, it holds a lot of water. These are great for laying down my first layers of painting after I lay down the water, let that kind of soak in there, get it wet again. Then I'm taking my larger washes and I'm putting down the first portions of my painting. If you have to decide what you're going to get, I would probably suggest at minimum do a 20, a 16, I would say a 14, and let's see, 12. See how different the size is. If you're going to look at what kind of sizes to get, if you're starting off, I've got a 20 in my hand, and then this is a 16, and then I have a 14 and a 12. See the difference between this 14 and a 12? There's quite a bit of difference there. And then a 12 to a 10, again, there's quite a bit of difference. So I would want those size brushes. Some of the other sizes that I have, I love these brushes. They've worked well. I bought them on sale. Cheap Joe's always has sales going on. So you can buy this stuff like 50% off there. So I really recommend taking a look at them. This is an 8, my brushes. I've washed them recently, but these go back into shape really well. This is an 8. Let me see, these are 6s and 4s, but that is a different type of brush. Here's my 6, my 4, and my 2. These are all called rounds. You can tell because they're very round at the top. Pretty simple and straightforward. Okay, these next ones are called script liners. I really like these. I recommend them. I would get a size 1. If you're just starting off, get a 1. And I would go with a 4. The reason why is I could get done with a 4 what I could with a 6. I do like to paint a variety of grasses. They're great for that, for tree branches. So these are called liners, and this is a 6, a 4, and a 1. Actually, these are called scripts. There's some brushes that are called liners that are. The next set of brushes that I'm going to show you are Princeton Brushes Aqua Elite. I'm in love with these. This is a series 480. If you take a look at the brush, you can see right here where my thumb is. It's a 4850. That's the series. A brush, see, it'll have the name. This has got Princeton. It's got the name that's got a wash on it. It's because it's nice and flat. And this is great for, again, laying down water on the paper, getting it wet. You have to wet your paper really well. You want it to be able to be prepared to absorb the color that you're going to put in, and the color needs to go deep. This is a 3/4 inch. I love the feel of them. I love the texture of them. I'm a little spoiled by them right now. This is a 1/2 inch angular Princeton brush. Again, see, Princeton Elite 4850, and AS is for angular shader. And a shader is great if I am going to need to blend some colors after I've painted. I will use a shader to help do that. I may have it slightly damp or a little bit of color on it. It also, for me, if I've got to paint around something, that angle really allows me to do that. So angle shader. And I bought some of these within a set. It was a set that maybe had 4 of them, and then I bought a couple extras later on, and I'm buying the rest of the set that I want, and I'll show those to you later. So this is a number 8 round, see, round, and that's because these brushes are round at the tip and very good quality. Make sure you take care of your brushes, wash them well once a month, and use a good soap. I'll show you one in a second. So that's a number 8 round. So this is a number 2 round, and I really like the way that it feels. These look, they look like they might not hold a lot of water. The black velvets that I showed you, these are wonderful. They hold a lot of water and a lot of paint. I love them. This paintbrush, you would think maybe it doesn't hold as much. It does. I can load this brush up and I can paint for minutes with this. If I'm doing a lot of detail work, I really can load it up well. And I tried this number 1. It's a liner. See how nice and long and thin that brush is? So this is their Aqua Elite Princeton liner brush. And again, I love that for grass, for detail work around animals, flowers, outlining, anything that I've got to do that would require me to be able to have something that would load up enough paint and work for a little while. Okay, this baby, I just got a number 8, and this is called a rigger brush. Oh my gosh, I am in love with this. I like the feel of it. I can do some really neat work with it, as far as like if I was painting and then flatten it down and then lift it back up. It's gonna produce some nice effects for me. I've always had really small rigger brushes, so this is my first number 8, and I absolutely love it. So let's put those away. Another set of specialty brushes that I have. These are this is Princeton Neptune, and I picked up a few of their brushes, and this is a synthetic squirrel, and this one is called a quill brush. Anytime you see these wires wrapped around hair like this, that's a quill, and these are really, really beautiful to work with. When I'm painting with it, it just has this nice soft feel to it, and I can be kind of decorative with it when I'm painting. So this is a number 8 Neptune, and these are on sale right now at Cheap Joe's as well. I just bought myself a number 6. I like these. They load up with a lot of water. I like the feel of them. I probably say that a lot, but I like the feel of them. This is a number 0. See how small that tip is? And this is a Princeton Neptune Elite brush. Neptune is the series, just like I said earlier, there was a 4850 series that I was showing you. So anyway, I try out different brushes because I want to know which ones I really, really like and go to. This brush, excuse me, is a chisel brush. This is a Velvet Touch Princeton. It's a 3950 chisel brush, and it's a number 6, so there are ones that are smaller. But a chisel brush is very flat, and it's very firm. So if I needed to go into a painting and scrub with it in order to lift off color and remove something because I painted it too darkly, I would use a chisel brush. I have 2 other kinds. This one, it's a Princeton, and this is their Select series chisel brush. It's a number 10, and I use mine a lot. I don't know if you can see it, but See that little bit that's bent over on the side? I'm going to wash this up again. I have a soap that's got a little bit of olive oil in it, and then I think I'm going to put some kind of gentle clip there to help reshape the brush back in. I love this. I use it a whole lot. So number 10, and then I have a number 6, and I'm actually going to buy another brush from Cheap Joe's. That's Cheap Joe's brand of a chisel brush. So I want to see, and it's specifically made for lifting things up. Okay, these are called Golden Natural brushes. That's the brand. I bought these, I believe, on, oh my gosh, there is a website, and it's like the Brothers Brushes, and I'll find that and I'll share it with you. But again, I could buy it on sale. All right, I've got some different kinds. I've got some liners. These are liners. They're a little bit longer. That's why they're, for lining things. It's a 4 and a 6 size. These 2 liners. This one is a number 2. So these work out really well. They're good sizes, and I like these because if I'm working on hot press paper, there's cold press and there's hot press. Hot press is a lot smoother. These I can load up with water and I can paint, but they feel smoother on hot press paper. Hot press paper and this other brush that I show, this black velvet, this would be too much. It's going to carry a lot of water with it, but it's almost going to be too much for a hot press paper. That's my take anyway. So these ones, if I want a little bit less water in the brush, but I want the paint, or I want to work barely with any water, when I do botanicals, some of my botanicals, those are paintings that look like they're the real deal, like the real flower. Those are botanical paintings, and I do those on hot press paper. And so I will use these 90% of the time, and it's because I feel like I have a lot of control with them. I probably could feel that same control inside of this other brand, the Princeton Aqua Elite. But I tend to go towards these. I'm a little spoiled. I get used to one thing and I will continue to use them regularly. So I showed you some rounds in there. I showed you some script liners, and I should have one more. I think I've got a rigger in here. Liner, and okay, these are all liners. Okay, script. Here's the other one. Okay, so these guys call this one a script brush, and this is, it might be a 0. It's a 00. So when you're looking at brushes like this where you want to use it for painting fine hair on an animal, or I might use it for thin lines for grass, I will look for a 00. I could find a 03, a 05, and this is a 00. So I want to show you this set. This is a watercolor travel brush set, and this is Princeton's Artist Brushes. It's a Neptune series, and one thing I want you to know, it is a synthetic squirrel, and when they say it's the thirstiest brush ever, it really is. I need something that's easy for traveling and putting in my luggage when I travel. I go for speaking, and I usually travel to other states. I want to take something with me so I can take photos and I can have the opportunity for me to paint. So I purchased this. I think it might run around $50. That was after a coupon my daughter gave me, and I think it was 20% off on top of that. The full price is $70, but you can pay a regular discount at Cheap Joe's. They're wonderful. So this is a number 4. This is a number 6 brush. See the difference in those tips? This is why you want to get different size brushes for painting. And I challenge myself by painting with larger brushes, and then when I absolutely have to, I will switch down to a smaller brush. Okay, this set I love. This is called Silver Ultra Mini, and these came in a set. I might have paid $30, I'm not sure, and they're so worth it. This first one is a filbert, and look at that number. That is a 10-0. That's how small this baby is. I love painting smaller paintings. I am not really big at painting a large picture. I'm trying to learn and get myself brave enough to do that. So if I want to paint something very small, then I will grab these brushes and I will just have fun. So this is a 20-0 script. Script is going to have that long line. I'm trying to get this wet so you can see that, but isn't that beautiful? So that's a script. It's a 20-0. I really liked buying this in as a set. This is a pointed round. That is crazy for it to be that small. So this is a 20-0 round. I have not looked to buy any other sizes if they carried them larger than this. I'll have to look sometime. So this is going to be the shader. A shader usually is flat. Other larger brushes that are flat like this. Let me see. This is a different brand that I don't use very much, but this is also a flat brush, and so they're both flat. They're both, and sometimes they're called shaders or they're called strokes. So I will use a stroke brush on a larger painting to make myself use the edges, do X's, just do a bunch of crazy stuff so I can learn to loosen up. And then this last one is an angular brush, and this is a size 12-0.